Hello students. In our last class, we have seen that the astrologer, who is the main character of the story, An Astrologer's Day by R.K. Narayan, is a man who actually did not want to be an astrologer. The writer has also very specifically mentioned that he was as ignorant. He was as much a stranger to the stars as were his innocent customers. So he actually has accepted the profession of an astrologer not by choice, but by, you can call it, by way of compulsion. But whatever job that he has accepted, being a very honest man, he has been working very honestly. And that is why the last line that we studied in the previous class was, all the same, it was as much an honest man's labor as any other, and he deserved the wages he carried home at the end of the day. So let us continue now. Now what we are going to read now is something about his past and something that did not happen in his life. He had left his village without any previous thought or plan. If he had continued there, he would have carried on the work of his forefathers, namely tilling the land, living, marrying, and ripening in his cornfield and ancestral home. But that was not to be. He had to leave home without telling anyone, and he could not rest till he left it behind a couple of 100 miles. To a village, to a villager, it is a great deal as if an ocean flowed between. Now, this particular paragraph, it tells us that the astrologer has come to this village accidentally, and this village is 200 miles away from his ancestral home. If he would have lived there, he would have been a farmer like his forefathers, and he would have lived in his ancestral home. But the destiny has planned something different for our protagonist, and that is why now he is not in his uh, he is not at his native place, but he is at a place that is as away from his home, as means it is actually 200 miles away from his actual home. He had a working analysis of mankind's troubles, marriage, money, and the tangles of human ties. Long practice has sharpened his perception. Within 5 minutes, he understood what was wrong. He charged 3 pice per question. Now the amount of money that he charged, it was 3 paisa per question, per problem. Now, being a worldly wise man, he had a good understanding of human nature, and he has designed his own way of functioning, and the way was such that he never opened his mouth till the other had spoken for at least 10 minutes, which provided him enough stuff for a dozen answers and advices. When he told the person before him, gazing at his palm, in many ways, you are not getting the fullest results for your efforts. 9 out of 10 were disposed to agree with him, or he questioned, Is there any woman in your family, maybe even a distant relative, who is not well disposed towards you? Or he gave an analysis of character, most of your troubles due to your nature. How can you be otherwise? With Saturn, where is he? You have an impetuous nature and a rough exterior. This endeared him to their hearts immediately, for even the mildest of us loves to think that he has a forbidding exterior. The way the astrologer used to function is described in this paragraph. He always allowed his customers to speak first, and that particular narration by the customer would always help him to understand the situation, and he could answer 10, 12 questions very easily. He could also offer a piece of advice. Then he would put a few questions to the customers so that he would gather some more details about the situation, and then he would always tries to comfort his customers saying something good, and that is how he used to function. Now, what we are going to read is actually the specific day on which the story occurred. Up till this point, we have been reading about the situation or the circumstances of the astrologer. Now, what we are going to read is the day when the story took place. Now, what happened? The nuts vendor blew out his flame and rose to go home. This was a signal for the astrologer to bundle up too. Now, bundle up is to go away or to stop working. Now, as it was evening, the nut vendor decided to go home. And as he blew out his flame, that was exactly the time when astrologer also used to stop his working. And so this was a signal for the astrologer to bundle up too, since it left him in darkness except for a little shaft of green light which strayed in from somewhere and touched the ground before him. He picked up his cowrie shells and paraphernalia and was putting them back into his bag when the green shaft of light was blotted out. He looked up and saw a man standing before him. Now, this is exactly the time for the astrologer to go home, and it is the time when a person comes and stands in front of him. He looked up and saw a man standing before him. A man standing before him. He sensed a possible client and said, "You look so careworn." Careworn यानी the one who is pressed by care, जिसे बहुत चिंता है या चिंतित है. It will do you good to sit down for a while and chat with me. Now, as it is his profession to help people to come out of their problems, he simply offered his help, saying that just come and sit with me, it will be of a great help to you. The other grumbled some reply vaguely. Now the man actually is not mentally prepared, and so he grumbled. Grumbled is he just said something. The astrologer praised his invitation. Praised his means he again repeated his invitation, whereupon the other thrust his palm under his nose, saying, "You call yourself an astrologer?" So the man asked this question to the astrologer. Are you the astrologer? The astrologer felt challenged and said, tilting the other's palm towards the green shaft of life, yours is a nature. Now, without any introduction, he just started with his opinion. Oh, stop that, the other said. The man who has come to the astrologer is so anxious, is so worried, is so pressed that he is in no mood to listen to the astrologer, and he said, tell me something worthwhile. He wanted exact remedy to his problem, and so he said, our friend felt piqued. Piqued is angry, irritated, annoyed. I charge only 3 paisa per question, and what you get ought to be good enough for your money. The astrologer told the man, I just charge 3 paisa per question, and the solution that I will be offering, it will be good enough for your money. At this, the other withdrew his arm, withdrew is taken back, and took out an anna. One anna is 6 paisa. 6 paisa is 2 questions, and flung it out to him, saying, I have some questions to ask. If I prove you are bluffing, bluffing is cheating or telling lies, you must return that anna to me with interest. Now, the man who has come to the astrologer is a very typical man. And so, what did he say? He challenged the astrologer, saying that I'm giving you 6 paisa, you are charging 3 paisa, your charge is 3 paisa, but I'm giving you 6 paisa. And if your answer turns out to be a lie, I will take the money back with the interest. If you find my answers satisfactory, will you give me 5 rupees? Will you give me 5 rupees? Now, as a challenge, he says, if I am ready, if I satisfy you, if my answers are satisfactory, will you give me a reward of 5 rupees? The man said, no. Oh, or will you give me 8 annas? Will you give me 8 annas? 8 anna is 50 paisa, you can say. All right, provided you give me twice as much if you are wrong. Now the stranger is as if bargaining with the astrologer, and he says that if you are wrong, you will pay me back the double amount. Said the stranger, the pact was accepted after a little further agreement. The astrologer sent up, it was argument, huh? The astrologer sent up a prayer to Havel as the other lit a cheroot. Now this picture will very clearly explain you the situation. The astrologer is talking to the man. You can also mark all the details of his personality, the paraphernalia, and his belongings. So, before beginning his work, the astrologer offered prayers, and the others lit a cheroot. Cheroot is a cigar. The astrologer caught a glimpse of his face by the matchlight. Now, as this man was lighting his cigarette, the astrologer could see his face in the matchlight. We have already seen that it is already late evening and there is hardly any light around, and that is why the astrologer could see his face in the matchlight. There was a pause as cars footed on the road. Jutka drivers swore at their horses, and the babble of the crowd agitated the semi-darkness of the park. The park was partly lit, and so it is semi-darkness, and all these people around, the place is a bit noisy. The other sat down, sucking his cheroot, puffing out, sat there ruthlessly. The astrologer felt very uncomfortable. Here, take your Anna back. I am not used to such challenges. Now, the astrologer is thinking, and at one moment he felt very uncomfortable. And so, what did he do? He just returned back the money to the man and he said, "It is late for me today." He made preparation to bundle up. Somehow, he felt irritated and he just ready to move out. The other held his wrist and said, "You cannot get out of it now. You dragged me in while I was passing." Now the customer is now angry at the astrologer and he says, "It is you who invited me and now you are running away." The astrologer shivered in his grip and his voice shook and became faint. "Leave me today. I will speak to you tomorrow." The astrologer wants to leave. And so he says, "I'm going now and we'll talk tomorrow." The other thrust his palm in his face and said, "Challenge it, challenge. Go on." The astrologer proceeded with his throat drying up. "There is a woman." So now this particular part of the story, this it describes the astrologer's mindset before he talks to the man. Okay.